Here's a guide on how to take down Lynels with a variety of methods along with the advantages and disadvantages of each method so you can figure out what works best for you. I keep this guide as spoiler free as possible, though I do use certain weapons that can be obtained by quests, but I avoid going into detail on how I get those weapons in case if that's an issue. Instead, I just focus more holistically on how you can do the most damage to Lynels regardless of your setup. First, I recommend mounting them when you possibly can. This is fantastic because you can use your weapon and it will not degrade. You can shamelessly use rare weapons as much as you want. You can also use gloom weapons without losing hearts. However, to mount them in the first place, they need to be stunned in some way, and that is typically done with arrow shots to the face. You get two good windows to shoot arrows in the face when it's not moving. The first is when it's using its fire breathing attack. The second is when you parry it using a shield parry. And you can usually accomplish this when it does horizontal attacks or its rush attacks. Once you parry it, you have a window to shoot it in the face before it punishes you back. The advantage here again is that it preserves your weapons, but the disadvantages is that it puts you more directly into danger as you now have to line up your arrow shots and time it just right. You also have to be very comfortable with shield parries, which affords you usually only a small window of time to do it right. So that being said, there's a second option, and that is the flurry rush strategy. Lynels will give you a lot of opportunities to strategically dodge it in a timed way that will allow you to flurry rush it back for a lot of bonus damage. This is a lot more effective than simply just attacking it with your weapon because you do bonus damage with it. I'm not a huge fan of this because it can chew through your weapon condition very quickly, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it with a weapon that has improved flurry rush in the weapon description for even more bonus damage. My thought is if I'm going to flurry rush it, I'm going to at least do it right, do it with a weapon with that bonus effect. Of course, you can also circumvent a lot of this by simply shooting it with a lot of arrows, which brings me to my third strategy, simply shooting it with a lot of arrows to the face. This one's a bit circular as it's best done if you already have Savage Lynel bows, which shoot multiple arrows out of it at high strength. That being said, it's a surprisingly efficient way to knock its health down if you go airborne and shoot in the face until you run out of stamina. You can make this last longer by eating stamina boosting food. You can make this go faster using monster parts too. For example, Gibdo bones, hopefully I pronounced that right, if you don't mind farming those, can do a lot of damage. I like this strategy a lot. Again, it's surprisingly effective, and this is all pretty darn neat when you're airborne. It's a great way to also open up combat. However, this strategy is not very effective once you're on the ground together and the Lynel is chasing you down. So you'll have to stay airborne as much as you possibly can to get the most mileage out of this general strategy. You can use fire on the ground or zonite devices to help you get airborne. Finally, you can use zonite devices if they are above ground. If they're on the ground, unless there's something proofing them from being destroyed, the Lynel will yell and destroy them. But if they're above ground, however, the Lynel will ignore them. So I include this for completion's sake in case if you did want to use zonite devices, if you're still getting stuck on Lynels. This is an option though. This is a very expensive device. This was 42 zonite pieces to conjure up. And it's not doing a whole lot of damage either against Silver Lynels. But again, it's there for an option if you want it. And that's the main methods I have. Please comment below if you have other suggestions as well. Again, I didn't preview a lot of different armors, especially armors that can combine with bone-based weapons to cause a lot of extra damage because, again, I want to keep this video as spoiler-free for the friends that I'm making this for. But hopefully this helps someone besides the friends I'm making this for. Please like and subscribe if it does, and have a wonderful day.